Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Synergita Talentcast. We bring expert views, opinions, industry best practices, and practical tips for the HR community. Let me start by giving introduction to today's guest, Divkiran Kathuria. Div is a seasoned HR technology executive with experience in leading and managing large-scale HR transformations. She's a recognized leader in the areas of applying technology in talent management, acquisition, learning and development, and DEI. Dave currently serves as Director, Talent Acquisition, Products and Programs for Seagate Technology. Without further ado, let's start the conversation with Dev. First of all, thank you for your time, Dev.
It's my pleasure, Sajin, and thank you so much for inviting me here because I think as we do well and grow in our careers, it's important to share the knowledge and give it back as well. So I'm very thankful for this opportunity.
Lovely. That's the whole philosophy here. We started this as a way of saying thank you to the HR community, and I think we are aligned there. Sure. So I want to start with you actually. You started somewhere else, and now you're in the HR tech space. Do you just want to talk a little bit about the transition to the HR tech space?
So I've been in the HR technology and transformation programs for more than 15 years now, and how digital and emerging technology can support business in general has always fascinated me. But interestingly, I actually did not start in the HR function, nowhere near it actually. I started with coding, that was mainly in Java and PLSQL. When I joined the corporate doing this sort of coding, I didn't even know what human resource function is really there for and what it does back then. So, and then one of my assignments included working on a quarterly performance evaluation system, right, to really write a code for an internal program for that. And that's where I started interacting with HR leaders, learning a little bit more about the HR domain. And post that, thanks to the wonderful opportunities my consulting career came with for the first 10, 12 years, I was able to see how HR transformations enabled by this emerging technology, and if done right, can positively impact so many employees' lives and help us serve the employees better. So that's how it became a passion, and I'm now especially interested in how this emerging HR technologies like AI and machine learning and advanced analytics can really help organizations strategically serve both the employees and the business growth.
Absolutely. And now when you look back, right, what do you think about the digital innovation in HR?
Interesting. So, whether it's hiring the best talent or providing our talent with the right and meaningful opportunities to showcase their talent and be their most productive self, technology today has revolutionized the human resource industry. As per a survey by Oracle, today 82% employees believe that AI-based technologies can support their career better than humans. The change that we see today in our work or workplaces was, I feel, always in the wings. But with COVID, it kind of expedited itself. It kind of disrupted everything: where we work, how we work, why we work, who we work with. Whether you're an organization or an individual, we all were forced to adapt to the situations beyond our control, finding and defining new HR tech strategies to sustain the market, to retain our talent, and also keep the mental, our mental senses uh, intact because of that social distancing, right? How do we make sure that we are mentally also supported, mentally well? And with the access to technology becoming easier and cost of technology getting cheaper and organizations human capital and talent is now our differentiating factor. And so I believe this is the golden age for HR and HR tech, the best time to be a part of the HR innovations and lead from the front.
Right, right. And today we kind of see HR leaders under tremendous pressure to attract and retain talent, right?
Yeah.
The job market is opening up, and even overseas companies are kind of accessing talent in India or elsewhere. So how can technology help in attracting and retaining talent? You briefly touched upon that, but just a little bit expand on that.
So let me try give you like a, 4-step formula if I can.
Wow, that will be lovely. Sure.
So number one, I have seen a lot of places we have fragmented technology solutions, and it's okay. We all start somewhere, but the idea should be that we need to design a holistic, integrated recruitment process to attract that diverse talent. So that's important, right? Integrated and attracting diverse talent. Recruitment tech today is a huge market, right? Because that's the beginning of the funnel, after all, where your talent comes from. So it's brimming with so many amazing HR tech innovations that range from helping you define the right job description, recommending the skills you should hire for, the right language and grammar to ensure diversity, social media reach for employer branding and hiring. And I don't mean just LinkedIn, so many more. Special channels for hiring women, BIPOCs, LGBTQ, new age AI-based ATS and candidate management systems, and always on engagement bots or the chat bots as we know them, and online assessment and interview tools and whatnot. So the idea is really to tap into this end-to-end solution that can attract everybody who is your target audience, right? So that's number one. So have that end-to-end design vision for your recruitment funnel. uh, then it's not just about recruitment. We have to keep them engaged. So number two is to focus on regular touch points and moments of truth in employees' everyday life, not just around the major life events like onboarding or being promoted. Like everyday engagement is what you should target. And that needs to be enabled, or rather, we need to enable our employees with proven technology platforms to connect and collaborate on a day-to-day basis. Use pulse surveys tools to identify their most pressing issues and develop a solution to that, right? Don't leave it there. And well-being, this become so important in the last 2.5 years, whether it's your physical well-being, whether it's your mental well-being. It's now an expectation from an employee that the org is supporting your well-being through different initiatives, through different tools that can help them increase their productivity as well. Number three, invest in employee development by considering their aspirations and need for meaningful work, right? Not just about what the organization needs or wants, but what our employees are looking for. What does their development mean for them, right? Today, more than ever, employees are thinking about why they should work with you and what value their work or their org brings to them and the world. So especially if you look at the generation Z, which has just entered the workplace, and Gen Alpha, which will be interning with some of us soon. They want to experiment and try new thing. And so it's even more critical for employers to focus on employer branding, use multitude of tech-enabled media to communicate what their brand stands for, because that's what connects with their target audience and that's what engages them even before they become a possible candidate. And once they are an employee, to give them the internal opportunities to explore their interests and find meaningful work within the organization. And this is what we do at Seagate with our talent marketplace, which is very aptly named Career Discovery. And number four, last one, but very important, with so many tools, with so many things going on, then data becomes your critical currency. Use that data generated across all of these tools to evaluate and recalibrate your strategy to target areas of improvement and focus your efforts there. For example, if your internal rate of hiring is low or exists due to, let's say, people moving out because they can't find any good opportunity inside, well, then you probably need to explore the open talent markets that are in place today. Or if your cost per hire is higher than, in general, it's higher, then you may have to look at the process efficiency and go for simplification. So always remember that, all of this technology is just an enabler. There is also a process and policy behind it. So the way we talk about our TA programs and TA teams, we have like 3 words which always guide us, which are like our North Stars: standardize, simplify, and automate. So yeah, so
Yeah.
those are the four things I can think
You
of.
you gave us a lot to work with, right? I mean, starting off with the four-step to attract and retain talent, be it the end-to-end vision, everyday engagement through connect, collaborate, or pulse survey, then invest in employee well-being, and then data, right, is the new oil and all that. But when you look at today's world, right, the VUCA world, volatility, uncertainty, confusion, ambiguous, how should organizations prepare themselves for tomorrow?
Scary question. But yes, a VUCA world has, especially with COVID, has proven to be very disruptive for many companies, right? But and it's not something that I'm saying. It's known, and I truly believe that in every challenge also then lies an opportunity to do something new, right? To innovate, right? And that's what we do. So to counter volatility, create a compelling vision, create a culture of trust and safety for your people, because when they feel safe, right, they'll not be afraid of failure, and they will be able to very confidently pivot and innovate in these times and take your company forward. As I like to say, culture eats strategy not just for breakfast but for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So create that compelling vision and culture. To meet uncertainty, think about understanding. When you are in the know, you'll be able to anticipate threats and take advantage of new opportunities. So know your market, know your customer. Companies who have known their culture, known their customer, and known their employees well are thriving, not just surviving, they are thriving. React to complexity with clarity. Be crystal clear, especially when you're communicating in these times with your workforce. uh, Give them a clear picture of what's happening, give them a clear direction, because this will encourage them to invest their efforts in the right place, solving the right problems. And lastly, fight ambiguity with agility. Even in these times, you should encourage people to learn new skills, empower them with new opportunities, enable debate. Don't be happy with status quo, and embrace creativity by stepping out of your comfort zone. Because if people are comfortable stepping out of their comfort zone, they'll be okay with the VUCA world. They'll be comfortable then with the VUCA world.
Right. That's some interesting points there, as you talk about a compelling vision and a safer environment, and upskilling, reskilling has been the talk in the recent past. And if you consider the great resignation and there is a gig economy, right? So what does it take to deliver high level of engagement?
Uh, this is like, a very interesting question, because as most service and industry reports would tell you, the top reasons for low employee engagement is unsatisfactory pay, lack of career development, poor management or leadership, stressful workplace and work-life balance, right? So those are some of the top 4 or 5 things that always come up when we talk about employee engagement.
Right.
But then if you look at the gig economy, it gives you a choice in terms of all of these factors, right? You can choose where you work from. You can choose who you work for. You can be your own boss. You can choose when you work. You can choose what you want to work on, right? If I am in
Yes.
HR today, but if I want to be a freelancer, I can always be that in marketing and explore my interest and maybe excel at it, right? So, and you can also kind of decide what you would like to charge for your services, right? So, to me, as disruptive as it may sound, this is not just about future of work, but future of engagement as well. So, gig economy is going to really give the workers that choice and freedom to truly own everything about their job: what, why, where, when, how, all of that. And to get started, right, we can also target these internal gig economy internally to resolve some of the issues like lack of career development. So in Seagate, for example, we do provide that internal gig economy in terms of project opportunities, where employees via our internal talent marketplace, it's enabling our employees today to learn 2 new skills per project per person, and is also breaking silos to let your employees explore more about different business units and the global teams and what other jobs internally entail. So, I mean, as disruptive as it may sound, that's my take on it.
Right. And you kind of spoke about future of work and future of engagement and all that, and it kind of becomes a little difficult in terms of, products, HR products and technology, right? You
Mhm.
said that technology is just an enabler. It's a mean to that end, right? It's not the end objective itself. But what are the key considerations while selecting
Mhm.
HR products and technology?
Um, I would say first and foremost, anything that you even start to discover, right? Need to make sure that it aligns with the long-term strategy of what you really, really want to do as an organization, right? And then, of course, it should uh, make the best use of organizations' existing and future financial and operational capability. So that's why you should even consider it. But once you're at that stage of consideration, then firstly make sure that you have like this list of requirements, which is make or break for you, because that's different for every organization. And once you have that list of requirements, you have an envisioned state, right? A lot of times we get into the search of a technology, but we do not know what that future end state looks like. So to me, that end state is also extremely important. Secondly, then cost and ROI. Everybody has budgets. It's very important that whatever we are investing, we should get the maximum value out of that. So the cost and ROI is the second consideration. With everybody working from home, right? And with so much personal data being used by some of these application, I think security then becomes one of the important evaluation criterias, right? Whether it be cyber security or data privacy, you should have that covered. Your application or your HR technology provider should take care of these as well. Um, Integration capabilities. The new tech should have the capability to integrate with your existing enterprise landscape, right? Extremely important because systems will talk to each other, especially the core HR and your identity management tech. User experience, extremely important nowadays, right? It should be simple, it should be intuitive, and it should be consumer grade. We are talking about employees who use Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. They're all consumer grade. Amazon, Facebook, etc. So why not enterprise tech? Yeah, that's the expectation they have. Mobile. We carry our work in our pockets now, literally, right? So any new tech which is not available on mobile, uh, well, I would probably not take it. So that's, and the last one, also very important, accessibility of the tools implemented by an organization, and not just from a legal point of view, but also to promote a culture of inclusion. Bringing full digital experience to differently abled individuals is extremely important as well.
Lovely. That's a good list, right? I mean, that
Yes.
will be really helpful. And now the most popular question, right? Best of breed or full suite? What's your view?
Uh, Interestingly, I come from having implemented full suite for some of my customers when I was in consulting. My view, especially with the enterprise apps, moving to best of breed application landscape itself, whether it be Oracle or SAP or other enterprise systems, they are taking over and buying some niche applications. So to me, I think it is best of the breed, and integrations are one of the most important ingredients of success as such. So for me, the future is best of the breed, whether it's plug and play or custom integration, as long as the chosen tech solution can be easily integrated using APIs, connectors, integrating applications, and do not overload your project timeline and budget. That's the way forward. At the same time, because of this, I also feel that in the end, it really boils down to the right integration design and the right team to be in place.
Absolutely. You briefly touched upon the ROI in the earlier question, right? Now, how should HR leaders pitch technology investments to management?
I'll start with what I mentioned earlier as well, that for any technology, and not just HR technology that enables and empowers how we do business, it must align with companies' overall vision and objectives, right? If you can prove that it does, that should do the trick. And how do you do that, right? So one of the most important factors to build such a business case is the ROI, right?
Right,
For example, when we built our use case for our internal talent market, we looked at the cost saved per hire,
right,
when we hired internally versus externally. And then the second thing we looked at was the number of hours of work that was generated by this internal gig economy we just talked about on the projects. And then this could then be easily translate into the monetary value. You combine that, you compare it
absolutely,
to what you're paying over a period of time, and you get your ROI, right? So
right,
combine this and compare it, you have your ROI.
right,
But I think the bigger challenge that comes with HR applications is, as much as I hate to call it, everybody knows it as soft benefits, right? So how do you quantify those benefits? So for those benefits that some of the HR tech innovations bring in terms of value addition, we can try quantifying the soft savings for the HR programs. For example, in one of the projects, we really talked about quality net income. We compared the actual time taken by the old process to that of the new one, right? And then multiply the time saving by the cost per hour of the person who was doing the work, and that's how we got our quality net income there. This is a term I kind of refer to because early on when I was working with the GE, there was a lot of focus on Six Sigma and Lean. So I have taken it from there and kind of used it in some of my building some of my business cases, and it's really helped. So we need to find innovative ways of quantifying these soft savings, if I can call them so. And I think that would really help along with our ROI to build the use cases, or rather
right.
business cases.
Right. So then we spoke about different things today, right? We spoke about the VUCA world, we spoke about the gig economy, we spoke about attracting, retaining talent, and all that. But when you actually sit down, right, and think about it as a HR practitioner, what keeps you awake at night?
Might sound unconventional to you as much as I know you now, but it's the excitement of the next challenge that technology can solve, right?
Okay.
I say so because, innovation and advancement in technology is accelerating at an unprecedented rate today, right? And it's in
Wow.
turn pushing business to transform and change faster than ever. And like I said, this is why this is the best time for HR teams to invest in the future by exploring, experimenting, co-innovating, new solutions with some of the upcoming and groundbreaking products in the HR tech space. There are many technology providers in the market now which are solving both, existing and expected future HR challenges with new tech like AI, machine learning, cloud, advanced analytics, and more. So for me, it's exciting to be part of this HR tech revolution instead of sitting on the sidelines. And that's what I would really advise all of the HR practitioners to do.
Right. Innovation and exciting times ahead. I think with that, we have come to the end of this episode, though I have a few more questions and I would love to converse, but thank you, Dev, for your time. Until next time, take care and bye-bye.
My pleasure, Sachin. It was, an honor to be a part of this initiative, and, looking forward to more such conversations on and off camera.
Absolutely. My pleasure too.